Good morning! Welcome aboard. I'm Christoph Sapinski, and hopefully this will be my last prep stream before TCTC. We're starting with the sector map. So, all the stuff I've been showing you so far, including this, is really about campaign prep. Now, you might not want to do this if you're going to do a convention, like I am, but you would probably have my help of being able to download a bunch of this stuff that I've already done already. You might want to make up your own factions, but you could have all the societies and such. And I will have at least one of those on the website. And depending on stretch goals and stuff, I could have like more complex ones for campaigns and stuff that are like preset campaigns. But this would be one of the steps you'd have to do here is create a sector. So the whole the Orion Quadrant is divided up into sectors, and the map wouldn't be too dissimilar from this. It is actually the map that is on the key society sheet. Let's pop that open. Where is it? So it's that map, and you put the little colors on it to determine where everybody is. This is more of a nice little kind of a setting element more than it is really like doesn't matter as much. So pretty much this is the vast map of the quadrant. So this is this huge map. This is like the center of the quadrant. Picture it as a huge inverted cone with the hub at the center. That's the easiest place to go, and then circled out in concentric circles with hexagons in depicting each sector. And we're placing, we're setting our game right here under the one listed as S. The other initials are the capitals of each of the societies that we're dealing with. For some reason, one of them's not showing. I'll have to make sure I add that before I print this. So, yeah, so we're looking at this map here, and we zoom in on this S right here, which we can see because it's blue. It's an Oath Alliance world. Now, for printing in black and white, you probably want to make it, different textures or something, and I'll probably have to do that because I don't have a black printer. But I've got it in color right now because I think it looks cool and it's nice for me to see, and I can see it perfectly fine. Because I'm not colorblind or anything, so you'd probably want to have like cross-hatching or something like that, if you were. Okay, so we are making a Oath Alliance sector, which is under exploration because our crew decided to make a scout crew, or you all did. So, double check this. Cool. Okay. I'm just pulling around chat just in case I get any questions I can answer. Okay, so what we're actually going to make today though is this. Now, so that system, we zoom in and this is it. So we always have to make the hub sector. And it's pretty much one chart for this. You make the sector, you put all the different hubs in it, and then you go and you make each system that you require as you play. So for this one, I'll be probably making one, maybe two systems, depending on whether or not I want to really show the players around their home system. But a con game is not a lot of time, so I might just kind of start us in transit. Yeah, so we'll see. So I have a chart. It's basically you roll a 10-sided die, and depending on what your results are, you can see it right here. On a 0 to 3, you get a main sequence star. They're super common. Giants on 4 to 6, they're next to common. Multiple stars on a 7 to 8, and 9s are nebulas. So I've got roll 20 open over here to use basically as a dice roller because it's kind of cool if you guys can see the dice, and I don't have a second camera right now. So let's just type in GM. I don't really. GM roll slash, I believe it's GM roll. I hope so. Yeah, GM roll slash 1d10. And that didn't work because I put the slash on the wrong side like a weirdo. Okay. It's a problem whenever you have to do these things in front of people. You're always... There we go. Roll and die. Okay. So we got a 3. We're main sequence star. So we are... That would be a main sequence star. So first things first, where are we? If we go back to our... We are... This is the hub. You can see the changing color here would be a province. We are in the rim. So we fill in on our sector sheet rim up here. We're in a rim. We're right on the rim because exploration, it's fun. Dice roll's been checked, so we're gonna have one main sequence star somewhere. Let's I'm gonna name these so when I copy them, their names are correct. Here 3 is a multiple star. Is a nebula. Because when we put the, and this has got to be a giant. Okay, so I already named the sector. We know it's on the rim, and we're going to be starting with the main sequence star. So I'm going to be doing this as the place we're going. So where do we want to go? I think we're going out. Let's go out on the rim. What direction do we want to go? Kind of starting with destination, just because. So the map is divided into edge, prime, and hub. This is differentiated from the quadrant map, which is divided into rim, province, and core. Similar initials on a couple of them, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Oh, that's a little too close. There, that's a little bit better. Okay. So, we're basically going to start here. So this is north on the map. Never north, east, south, west. So every single one of these is numbered in sequential. There's no duplicate numbers. We start at hub, and we circle around and around and around and around and around. So the highest number on the map is something like 242, I believe. I think that's the highest. Yes, so there's 242 hexagons. So you can spend quite a bit of time flying around space here. So the only thing is these symbols are a little bit large. So before I dupe them, I want to make them a little bit smaller. So main sequence, Control T. Okay, let's drop them down to 80%, I guess. So it's going to be 85. Because we're going to want to put... you know what? I think the size is fine. Let's just... There. Okay, so we have this one here. And we are going to... This is where we're going to be going. I decided just to do that one first. You can kind of do them in any order. If you're doing them at home on a map, you could roll a lot of dice at one time. I'm just going to put it here, and then I'm going to put in the code. So the thing we're writing in here is the coordinates of the system. EN 111. You could just put numbers. I like to have some idea where to look, so that's why we have the other code in there. And you can probably, depending on the type of game you're running, you'll name them, and that's what this section's for over here. It's also, you can take notes and put it over there. This number normally goes right in here, and we have to make this main sequence copy a little bit smaller. So we're going to definitely make this one smaller. The other one fit in perfectly, but... And you just basically want to label it the same way you did, that these ones are naturally labeled. So we want to make this a lot smaller text-wise. So let's see what 6. 6 too big still? Yeah. So these are quite small. And you write them in there, and then you'll be putting the name. Yeah. We'll put it here. We'll put the name in the other part. Let's make it big again. I had a thing where I was putting them in here, but they just don't fit. They're just too small. There we go. Okay, so EN11, that is the system that we're going to be going to. We're going to be making that as a system. And, yeah, so we should make up a few more in the core. And, this is supposed to be one of the first rim ones. We don't want a lot of this prime to be taken up either with exploration. So let's just roll some dice. Another main sequence star. This is probably the one that we're going to be leaving. Might be cool to have a hub. Let's put it as a neighbor. Yeah. Let's just put it over here. That's good. There we go. Okay. That's a neighbor there. And, okay. Roll again. For a giant. I think a giant would be really fun for where the players start. Giants are pretty. Let's put this right here. Okay, I'm actually going to move. And then you just match them on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to keep rolling, get them all up, and then I'll move them over here. After? No, let's move them over right now. And then that is... Oh, I'm going to have to zoom in. I cannot see it. PN37. Oh, there's supposed to be a dot in here, so... Add that to this. It reads a little bit better with the dot I found. Okay, so... PN.037. I want it all to be 3 digits. It's easier to read, and it's really sci-fi. Okay, and that's PN. Okay, PN dot 059. Okay, cool. Let's put in a few more. A 7. 7 is multiple stars. Cool. Alright, the multiple star symbol's a little large. Okay, so HN20. So I don't have to make a lot of these because I'm making a largely unexplored system, which is advantageous. It can be problematic if you create a contract where the players can kind of go anywhere they want. The book and I talk about how we probably shouldn't do that. You should send them to particular places or ask them to explore regions, and then you have to roll a lot of dice, and you might have to make a lot of systems, because if they start going into all of these places, it can be it'd be a lot of work to prep all of those systems, and that's the last thing you want. It's one of the reasons I'm looking at doing kind of a hex crawl stretch goal where you can where I'll provide you with a completely fleshed out map like this. So we should probably make sure we make the hub as well. But let's do another main sequence. Like I said, main sequences are going to be pretty common. There we go. And this is HN6. So I can select all of these stars and make sure they're all lined up perfectly. There we go. Cool. Okay, let's keep generating stars. It's a giant. Just keep going around. Okay, so this giant is... So we'll probably want to move this whole set down, because you kind of want them in order. It's a lot easier if they're basically in numerical order. HE23. So, okay, let's just that one and... Okay, PN37. Yeah, I'm doing the very exciting thing of moving stuff around. Yep. Living the Viva Loca here. Okay. This is pretty cool. You see how fast a sector can come together. HE23. Okay, so maybe something good for a hub will come up. 8. Multiple stars. Let's do a multiple star hub. That's fun. Now you don't have to roll randomly, you can just put stuff in if you want. If you have a particular idea for a system, or for a system, you can do that. I pick and choose often as I roll through it. So this is turning into a bit of a sparsely occupied sector, and every single hex on here can be filled. You can just fill every single hex. But the travel mechanics also include discovering new systems. So if they're if they have like little brown dwarves in them, or black holes or something, you don't have to fill them in as you roll. So as you travel, you can fill them in and then have ones that are basically empty. So I think that's almost enough. It might be nice to have one of these ones nearby. I could also fill them in as we fly. I think I'm going to be starting the players over here in PN37. So maybe I will move this one down a little bit just to flesh it out. And we'll put in a couple more in this vicinity. The number 3 is very popular. 10, it's another main sequence. Okay. And what do we got? A 2. So yes, this is kind of this little group of main sequence stars. Okay, so we just need to add PN57. So okay, let's type in PN57. And we just need to come up with some names for these. That's supposed to be PW57. Oops. Don't want to go the wrong direction just to find out. Can't find the system. Which is also, we just added a bunch of main sequences. So 59, 37's up there, and no, 61. There we go. And that is PN61. So during sector creation, it's all about creating useful stars. So you don't want to fill everything in from this chart. There's another table in the travel section that also includes blank areas. So that's a little bit nicer for that front. Okay, so let's make sure everything's lined up okay. Up. Hold down a little bit. Okay, this one has to drop to line. There we go. Cool. So there is a good chunk of our system. It's got a name for the sector, and then we need to fill in system names. Let's take a quick look for some cool names. Okay, so I'm kind of going with a bit of a Salish kind of naming convention. because I'm in Vancouver, I thought it'd be kind of a fun way of handling it. So I'm just looking through for pretty much going to use names from that. I'm using English pronunciations and spellings because some of the Salish names and such are particularly difficult for sellers like us to actually pronounce. So just using Amplified for versions. It's a lot easier to pronounce. Deleting a couple layers that I don't need. There we go. We have this nebula. I'll keep that there just in case I decide to add one. Okay, so names. What do we want to call our main one? So in Senequa, Cowichan. Yeah. It's fun to do kind of a West Coast kind of thing when you're okay, so that's Cowichan. I think that's big enough. There we go. Okay, so no, it's bolded. I don't want it to be bolded. I actually think these names might also be bolded. I don't want they took up too much room. Okay, so Cowichan. Let's do something that doesn't start with C. Malahat. That's a pretty cool name. And once I name these, I'm almost done this phase. I'll take a little bit of a break and I'll come back and we'll do the Cold War phase where we take our different factions and we'll set them up in the different areas. Okay. Puyallup. Oh. Or even Washington should know how to pronounce that. Puyallup. I should know how to pronounce it too. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. I want to call this. This is the name of the system, so. Okay, so that's 10. I don't know why these others are 10. Oh, because I clicked on the other one. Okay, cool. Just formatting. Okay, let's keep naming. Okay, so Sumas. Everybody likes Sumas. PN37. That's probably where we're going to start. Sumas is a great name. Everybody will get that one right. we go. Okay, cool. So, Sumas and its neighbors. There's a lot of S names in this area. Let's go with Nooksack. A lot of P's too. We already have. Trying to get different letters because that makes things Lexan. Let's do that. I find that if you name things and you make sure that you give them different starting letters or consonants at least in sound, it's easier for players to tell apart because they stick out as different. If you give them all like starting with the same letter, it gets a bit funky real quickly. Okay, Homoko. I'm pronouncing these terribly, I'm sure. Okay, almost done. Regular. So we need 2 more. I feel like half of GMing sometimes is just naming stuff. Just name this, and then you name that, you name the other thing. Dwalmish. Okay, now you have the question of, do you want to name the place that you're going? I think in this case we will. It'll be easier to refer to, and we're going to be using it a lot, so we want it to be a simpler name. Which I'm running out of. So, let's name it something else then. I don't want to name it after a tribe because it sounds weird as a place name because it's a people's name. Oh, I'm kind of running low because there's just so many start with S. It's very, very common. Popcom, Matsqui. Let's go with Matsqui. I know that one. It will be funny for our Abbotsford attendees. They'll be like, hey, I know that place. That's a street in Abbotsford. Yes, it is. A street in Abbotsford is named that way, as many streets in Canada are. I don't think it's much of a secondary prize or anything, but it's just, oh, I have something else selected, it seems. Oh, I have Santa Claus selected. That's why it's going all weird. Okay. There. Perfect. Okay, so all the systems are named. so we're pretty much done. Let's just take this nebula and hide it. Wherever it may be. There it is. Boom. Now let's just delete it. Okay, cool. Zoom out on this. There we go. So it's a mostly unexplored sector named Senequa, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 partially explored systems. And the players, I believe, I am already starting to come up with an idea, but I'll do some of it for the Cold War phase. For they're going to be traveling from PN37 to EN111, looking for a lost explorer ship, a lost settlement vessel. So, there we go. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'll grab some water, and then I'm going to come back and do the Cold War phase. Okay, thanks so much.